What's up, everybody? We are live with the Kentucky Power Ranking Season 3 reveal. I'm here with Finn from the Power Ranking Committee and Sunday Streets, here with Jeremy from Bourbon State Gaming, and of course, Zyson, the chairman of the Power Ranking Committee. What's up, guys?
Hello, folks. Just want to go by and introduce everyone as Devin did. First up, Finn. Are you going to introduce yourself, Finn?
Hey guys, Finn, from London, Kentucky, southern area. Been here for a while, so I'm sure most of you know who I am, but thanks for tuning in.
Yep. And then we have the BSG CEO himself, Jeremy.
Hey y'all, for those who don't know me, I think most of y'all do, but Jeremy from Bourbon State Gaming, owner of that, running on 10 years. And for those who don't know, Finn actually used to be number one on PR for Smash 4 in Southern Kentucky as well. So he's been on multiple PRs at this point.
Yeah, that's like a Jeremy meme. He tells me that every time he sees me. But thanks, Jeremy.
And then, you have me. I'm Zyson. I'm a player in the state as well as I help do events, whatever event I help with. And of course, I do the PR. And my current project is working on Mid-South Fight Club, which is the team league. Me and TOG. Shout out to TOG if you're in chat. Been working on that pretty hard. We'll have that come to fruition pretty darn soon. So that being said, can we move on to the next slide? I think we already covered these real quick, mostly. We have a Dropout in here and Jeremy in here, which you already know.
Yeah.
We will be introducing... Oh, yeah, Dropout. I didn't ask you. I'm sorry, man. Can you talk about yourself?
Yeah, sure. People on this channel are kind of used to seeing me drop out. I'm the executive producer for QCS, the host of Midweek Marvel, as well as, generally around for commentary on Street Fighter 6, Marvel, and some other fighting games, and even some Smash commentary. Still sometimes break that out every once in a while. So glad to help out with you guys. And... this has been a pretty good, we've kind of come full circle a little bit with the Street Fighter scene and like really starting to get established with newer players as well as some of the veteran players coming in. I think it's been a good season.
Yep. And big shout outs to Dropout for hosting this and helping make this possible through QCS stream. Much is appreciated. And this is why I write everything down on a list like this, so don't forget when it came up. So there it is. Then we have Jeremy in here, who's already introduced himself. Jagger and Mason Yoder and Deznere are interviewed. They'll have about 15 minutes apiece on here, a little bit less maybe. So we'll go forward. Our panelists who are here, that's me and Finn. The other panelists not present in the chat, Button Checker from Louisville. We got Sniffles from Danville, Top Gun, Georgetown, Mycelium, a TO from Lexington, Stealth T, also a TO from Lexington. By the way, there are whispers of some Lex fights starting back up again. Keep your ears glued to your speakers for that one if you're interested in the return of Lex fights, because it's I think we're going to see those come back soon. And then finally, Finn's in here, and of course London. So we got 2 Louisville, 2 Lexington, and then 3 from the rest of Kentucky. Although Georgetown might arguably be Lexington anyway. But so moving forward, I want to talk about some things before we get to the nitty gritty of the actual PR, and this is Finn's talking point. Finn, you want to tell us about the Invitational?
Yeah, you'll have to help guide me along because I actually am unable to pull up the stream right now. But right. We're having the seasonal invitational. As we're going to go through this list, everyone from the HMs to the actual ranked players, excluding the head and bosses, of course, will be invited to this tournament. And we will also be announcing 3 different LCQ events. For the last 3 spots, so there's going to be 16 total spots, 13 invitations given out tonight, 3 spots up for grabs throughout February, I believe. Do you want me to go ahead and talk about the events that we have coming up for the LCQs?
Yeah, they're in the next slides over, so as soon as we hit those slides, we'll talk about it.
Like I said, I can't see, so you'll have to help me on that. But very excited about it. I talked to Wake earlier today. We don't have a date hammered down for the actual invitational, but it will be once again at Mount Sterling. I've also talked to Nathan, and I believe QCS will be presenting the stream.
Yes, we will.
So you'll be able to catch that right here on this Twitch channel. very excited. I think we've got a great lineup of guys and some really good events coming up.
So as Finn was going through it, if you want to become the state champion, this is the tournament. The winner of this is the state champion as far as the PR is concerned.
Mhm.
So come out and qualify. There are 3 spots left, and you win through bracket. This is open to everybody. So the 13 being qualified for PR, and the next 3 brackets, and you won't. Distance is not an issue here. We spread them out throughout the state, pretty equally distanced. So moving forward, let's talk about the first LCQ. The first LCQ. Oh, never mind. My bad. So before we get into the
You got ahead of
LCQ,
yourself, yeah.
I got ahead of myself. Got off the script. So Team Kentucky is another thing we're talking about in here. Team Kentucky is the team for the Mid-South Fighting League. This is where Tennessee, Ohio, Indiana, Alabama, Georgia, and Kentucky will be competing against each other in a team format. For Team Kentucky itself, we have 3 already on the team. That is myself, Dez, and Jagger. We have 5 slots still available. The top 3 from PR that is not already qualified will be offered a position. They have to accept the position, and then that will fill out 6 slots. Sunday Streets online qualifier after the show. That is the 7th slot, and then we have an online bracket on Friday, which is a round robin into a custom bracket that I have set up. I'll explain that if you come to the tournament. So it'll be Friday at 8, and that will be our 8 people for Team Kentucky. It'll be the way this is set up is it's a 5v5 main line and a 3v3 line below that. And then we'll be competing and coming to big tournaments and trying to really push the talent of Kentucky on top here. This is a great opportunity if you want to get to play other monsters in the region, because there are some really monster players going to be on these teams. Next slide, please. Now we go to our LCQ. So the first LCQ is Legendary Games on February 1st. Finn, you got anything to say?
Yeah, big shout outs to Blake Farley, aka Swiggins, as many of you know. I was kind of in a panic because nothing was happening in January, and I didn't know exactly where I was going to place these events. So I asked him to personally asked him to run an event just for me to have an LCQ. That's exactly what he's doing. It's at a brand new venue, at least new to our community. Legendary Games, February 1st. It should be a good one in Lexington, the heart of Kentucky. So most people should be able to get there within about an hour. So hope you guys come out to it and try to earn your spot.
Okay. Next slide, I believe, is Queen City Showdown and Dropout. Devin, this is your territory.
Yeah, February 8th, back in Hazard, Kentucky, once again at the traditional venue in Hazard. We are bringing everything to the table. We are bringing Smash Ultimate, Street Fighter 6. We're doing a Kentucky Arcadian there as well. Tekken 8, Guilty Gear, Marvel 2, Marvel 3, Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct, everything you can imagine. Retro, all going to be there. It's going to be our first big event of 2025, and we are glad to be bringing it back with the original venue back in Hazard and kick off the new year. And keep an eye out on some future announcements from QCS. We're going to get back to the big events as well.
Check out that screenshot of Finn in the top right-hand
Yeah,
corner.
we got Finn. There's a lot of people. We got Butt 69 here. We got Shin. We got Cream. We got a lot of people here in this picture.
Yeah. So this is LCQ number 2. So LCQ number 3, I believe, will be Jeremy Tyler hosting here. So Jeremy, what you got to say about LCQ number 3, BSG 22?
Oops.
Oh, well, we just lost it.
So we'll
still
back.
losing it. There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, so this will be, we're going to be launching this tomorrow, so it's not up to, sign up for yet, but we'll be set up tomorrow to be launched. But this will be Fighters Edition 22 here at Cardinal Gaming in Louisville, Kentucky, where we've been having all of our stuff more recently. But we will be having Street Fighter, Tekken 8, Mortal Kombat 1, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Guilty Gear Strive, and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So we do hope to see you out for that one. We usually get between 50 to 80 people for this, so it'd be awesome if we end up seeing you there.
So those are our 3 LCQs. Also, shouting out to this monster-ass tournament, which might have an event pocketed in it. I'll let you all know. But Jeremy, what you got to say about this one?
Yeah, so this is y'all, Bourbon State Gaming's been around for 10 years now, from 2015 to 2025. So this is celebrating our 10-year anniversary. For Bourbon State Gaming, it is on April 26th of this year for it, and we do have more games than we ever have, like Smash Ultimate, Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. That's going to be 3 days after the game releases, so that is going to be a
That's
big one
gonna
for
be
sure.
interesting.
Yeah. Guilty Gear Strive, Mortal Kombat 1, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Smash Brothers for Wii U, Ultra Street Fighter 4, and Rivals Aether 2. And we also have community games that we're allowing people. We just announced Super Smash Brothers Brawl for that. I imagine we'll probably end up having like Dragon Ball Fighters again if people sign that up as a community game. So if you want to do some more community games, please put that on there. We have a giant gymnasium for it. We can hold like 500 people. And actually, our $5 venue ends next Sunday for this, but we already have over 100 people that have signed up for this. So this should be our biggest event yet. And being transparent, it might be our last one too. I'm pretty tired at this point, but we'll see. But this is definitely going to be our biggest event yet. So I hope as many people can make out as possible for our 10-year anniversary. And you can sign up for that on StartGG, Bourbon State Gaming, age 10 years.
Sounds pretty solid. What's up next?
Before we move on,
Oh.
there's two things that I wanted to mention about the Invitational that I did forget to, which is completely my fault. So the way that the Invitational is going to work is that by qualifying into these spots from these LCQs, you will qualify into a round-robin pool with the HMs, and the top 10 ranked players will actually already be seeded. So you'll be playing round robin from seeds 11 through 16. Also, we do, at least I do a lot, and Zyson does, and a lot of the other panelists do a lot to try to make this event worth it, including setting up donations and donating money ourselves that goes straight into the pot bonus. So by the end of the stream, I'm sure we'll be able to provide some sort of link for it. I did forget to tell Zyson about this, so my apologies, Dan. But yeah, there will be a monetary prize as well. So not just pride on the line. Go out to all these events, including the 10-year anniversary. I had no idea that was going to be your last one. What a bombshell to drop on here.
Yeah, man. That's you guys have been like such a staple, like in the state. I mean, you guys
It's
really
not for
created
sure
it.
the last one. Just to give you all the heads up, it's just something that a lot of my staff knows I've been thinking about for it. But I definitely wanted to at least have this one if it is going to be my last one.
Well, man, let's make it one to remember.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we have the this is a new concept, and I think it's going to be pretty awesome. This is presented by QCS. So drop out what you got.
Okay, so this is a brand new idea, and it was actually brought to the table, of course, by our partner Razor, the man who started QCS himself, on April 25th, the night before the 10-year anniversary for Bourbon State Gaming, the first ever Kentucky FGC Awards. We are honoring players for their success in tournaments, behind-the-scene heroes, and special community awards. Nominations are going to start to drop pretty soon, so everybody kind of keep an eye out for that. The QCS Discord, QCS Twitter, Razor's Twitter, my Twitter. Keep an eye on that. We got a lot to do with it, and I think it's going to be a really fun thing for the entire community. And this is not, it's not going to be like the PR thing where it's like, oh, this is the best Street Fighter player. This is like fan favorites, community favorites, like lifetime achievement awards, things like that. Like, community based. This is a community based event in that way. So this is going to be really fun.
To give you some more examples of awards, it'll be something like the hypest set for the year.
Yes.
Like what was the most exciting set to watch. Best dressed was on the list.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Shoutouts to Jeremy. Definitely when I was floating this idea around, we completely ripped this from Bourbon, who did this in 2019, I believe, right? Was it 2019 or 2020?
Yeah, the Smash Awards, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So once again, credit to him and BSG for bringing that idea to us.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Very big pioneer in the state. All right, I think we can go into the interview section now. So, Mr. Jagger, next slide.
We got Jagger coming in.
Yeah. So, these pictures.
What's happening?
Hey, man, what's up? 1 second.
Oh,
Yeah, this is true Jagger fashion.
Please don't yell.
Probably in the middle of
I'm
a
gonna, like, double audio
right.
with this on camera.
Yeah. Anyway,
There we
he's
go,
in a
okay.
set. So, Jagger asked me if I could use this picture for him in other
Yay.
contexts. I told him no, but we're using it here.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's totally Jagger. I don't know what it is actually. What is that?
That's just another. It's an illustration. The person who I took this profile picture image from is an artist that I follow, and they just draw a lot of stuff like that. So I just I save a lot of it. And I have it. It's just in my photo gallery.
All right. So, all right, I'm just going to jump straight into it. You ready for these questions?
I'm ready for the questions.
Yeah, I want you to introduce yourself first. What should we know about you?
Oh, I'm Jagger Harbrin. I live on 4th Street at 27. Actually, nah.
You do not have to dox yourself.
Hold on.
Don't dox
yourself. Last four social, please.
I'm like in college right now. I work at like a steakhouse, just a line cook. I've been playing Street Fighter since like August of last year. That was when I played like a month Street Fighter 5 in 2020, and that was where I first cut my teeth on it. And then like 3 whole years passed, I couldn't do anything. Street Fighter 6 was coming out, and I thought it looked like the coolest thing ever. And come my birthday that year, my roommates got it for me. And obviously, I've just haven't been able to pull myself away from it.
All right, this will be a good segue into the next one. Like, so what got you into our scene? You just showed up to the bar one day and you just kept coming back.
Yeah.
What caused that? What got you there? Yeah.
It's funny actually. So it all happened because Justin Wong did a stream of Mid-South Outlaws.
Yep.
All right.
He did like a host of that tournament, and I watched some of it, and I was watching. He said that he was going to host a Kentucky stream on this day, one day, and I was like, okay, I'll tune into that, and I'll tune into that. And they were rolling ads between like sets and stuff. Like Joel Kevin just got off, and they were rolling some ads, and I saw Hadaway Saloon. It said weekly tournaments on there. It didn't say much. They haven't have much info. It just said like weekly Street Fighter tournaments. I'm like, oh shit, it's like 6 minutes away from me. So I just started driving there, and I would drive there. I went there a few times before there was even a tournament because I didn't know when it was.
Yeah.
So I would drive there. It was probably 2 or 3 times I drove there. I would ask the bartender, "Hey, do you know anything about this?" And they're like, "Yeah, they do it like on Fridays, at like 9 p.m." And I'm like, "Awesome!" And I went there on a Friday, and everyone was playing like Smash Brothers, and it's like, "Hey, where's the Street Fighter?" It's like, there's a different bartender, and it's like, "Oh, that's bi-weekly on Fridays."
Yeah.
At this time.
Yeah.
But the 4th time I managed to actually get there at the right time.
Yeah. So what that says to me is unless you're inside the community, you have no idea this thing's going on, which I knew about, but I don't. Yeah, I have no idea how to get outside that Facebook, demographic.
It was really by luck that I managed to stumble on it at all with the ad.
Good old Justin Wong.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Justin Wong.
He has that reach. Yeah.
Oh, he absolutely does. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, we have a fan question for you. What's something you do better than most people who play your character, and what's something you do way worse?
Okay. Better and worse. Okay. That's interesting. I feel like my mind automatically gravitates to the worst because it's so self-critical.
What's better?
What's the better thing? The better thing is
talk yourself up.
Talk myself up.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that I walk a lot more in general, and I think I focus on it a lot more.
Yeah.
Than other people who play Guile. In a way, it's like I want to like be mobile. I want to like actively like be poking and playing neutral and blocking in and out of stuff. Like I learned the game with him because I thought he was cool. So I didn't really know anything about what he did. I learned like his whole style and everything as I went on, but I still kind of just do what I want a lot of the time, or play the way that that feels fun to me.
Also, I want to mention that you are a perfect parry god. I don't think anyone does it better than you. So there's that. What's worse? What do you suck at? Let me know.
Do I suck at? What I suck at is I am I have I'm very hard at breaking habits. I'll be
Okay,
honest.
so you're stubborn.
Yeah, I'm stubborn. I just have a lot of stuff that I do. You know, it's obviously 90% of what you do in a game is unconscious. But I have a lot of stuff that I actively see and recognize. I'm like, oh, I stop doing this. But you know, by the time it comes around the next time I get distracted, then I do it again. You know, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. It's just a thing that I have to put a lot of practice and focus into each individual thing that I want to stop doing. Like if I always throw tech here, if I always parry here, I have a lot of bad parry habits, I think.
Yeah. All right, that's good. Next question. What's your favorite set this season, the PR season? If you had a set you could record and watch back, and what you had the most fun in, or what
Oh,
was a
that's
good
the whole
moment?
thing.
Yeah, the whole season. So like from
The whole season.
from September till now.
It's a shame I haven't gotten to watch every set of the season. There's stuff that
Your
I didn't go
favorite set
through
is
all
in
that.
like the set that you were in.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah,
the one that you
the set
played
that
in.
I was in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because my answer wasn't gonna have me at all in it. My favorite set, the one where I felt the best. Honestly, I think the one where you and I were playing at Hideaway was really interesting to me.
Oh yeah.
Looking back on it, because
The one that you beat me in, I'm presuming.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a good
'cause I did
set.
a lot of weird things. It was a good set, but I did a lot of weird things there. And it was the first time I had done some of those things. Like I don't think I'd ever really tried to react to normal like non-OD Spire before
Mm-hmm.
with flash kick from like from like a real close range. And I just started doing it. And I
God, you
realized, oh,
broke
I
out
can actually do this. Yeah.
you broke out all the option selects in that set. It was so annoying to play. I was like, oh my god. So like it took me a while to download and adapt. But yeah, it was rough. You got me. For sure. Good game on that one, well earned. You have this seemingly unbreakable will when it comes to finding a path to win. How do you keep up with that motivation?
Don't say it again. The mic got kind of
So
stuffy.
you, when you're playing, like you have this
Yeah.
thing where like rematch, right? So you have
Yeah.
this unbreakable will, right? And you're very determined. How do you keep that motivation going?
Honestly, it's entirely through interaction with the community, I think. I think I would have dropped this game after 9 months to a year if I didn't get involved. Because when I was younger, really when I was a kid, I don't think I thought of myself as competitive at all. But at some point in my life, I just when I got involved in things, I just wanted to prove myself at it. I really have this like strong will to like prove myself all the time.
Yeah,
Like
editor's
to be
heart.
like it's almost like just like a being seen thing.
Yeah, and that's what the community and the competition's about. I 100% agree. I'm a
Yeah.
competition
Yeah.
demon. You're a competition demon. We are kindred
Yeah.
spirits.
Yeah, it's almost like there was this time in high school, like I had been doing like high school band. I played trumpet for like 3 years. I just joined because my friend was in it, and I wanted to sit next to him and goof off.
Mhm.
And it took me 3 years. We had seventh, eighth, ninth grade went by, and then at some point, like my freshman or sophomore year of high school, I don't know what changed. Maybe it was that we had a falling out, or I was feeling weird about like I just didn't like what I was doing in general. But something took a hold of me, and I just started practicing like all day, every day.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of whenever I pick up something and I'm really into it, it's the kind of thing where I get to do that. It's something that I get to work on constantly and think about all the time.
All right, and I appreciate the answer. I got one more fan question for you.
Okay.
Why should people new to Street Fighter 6 play your main?
Play my main?
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of reasons, right? The reason that I started with Kyle originally was because I liked his old theme music. I've said it before. a lot. Obviously, I love music, and it was a song that I just hummed to myself all the time, like years before I even played the game. So I got it. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll play Gato, man.
Yeah.
He's the
Okay.
guy. He's got a kind of cool looking haircut. I kind of like the tank top and like boots and all that going on. It's kind of like
Uh,
rough around the edges, kind of style. But now that I play him in the game and I've gotten to like know him and get used to him, I think playing like a pure like focused stretch character is a really interesting exercise in like movement and managing like managing like multiple things during the game, because obviously it's a timer in your head that you always have to think about.
so yeah, so it's like a
And
brain exercise, right? You're like,
yeah, it's like a brain exercise. It's every movement you have to flip a switch, right?
yeah,
In whatever direction. On it, you go, okay, this I don't have access to this anymore. I do this, no access to this unless this, that, or the other thing. To plan my knockdowns around it, the after I throw a fireball, I have to know what range after what distance this is blocked, where I have to guarantee the anti-airs in that scenario. I also just think his combo game is really cool. I think he has like some of the deepest combo game in the entire game. Obviously, you go on Twitter, people have done insane things with him that honestly I don't think I've seen on any other type of character. I mean, he has a 90-100 damage combo. That's nuts.
it is. That's
Um,
quite nuts.
yeah.
All right, brother. I thank you
Yeah.
for
Okay.
the
Yeah.
time and the interview. We got to get through some others, but this was awesome. I'm glad you're on the show. You were an awesome interview.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna grab Mason next. I'm gonna pop you back out.
That's the
All
greatest
right.
picture of all time, by the way. I just want to point that
it
out.
was a photo that Mason gave me like 6 months ago. And
Yeah.
I have a memory like a steel trap, so I remembered it. Mason, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Real fun season this time around.
Yeah, so tell me about you. If I was just meeting you, what would you have me know? And don't dox yourself like Jagger.
No, yeah,
Your
fair enough.
street address,
Yeah, yeah.
your phone number.
Yeah. I'm Mason. I play Honda in Street Fighter 6. I've been playing fighting games for a large period of my life, like since I was probably like 12 on like the PS3. I would fool around with some Street Fighter 4. But yeah, now I really like fighting games. I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. All right, so we'll start with the fan question. All right, and it's the same two that Jagger had, and that is pull it up again. What's something you do better than anyone else plays your main, and what's something that you do worse?
Okay, that's I don't know. I might have a double-edged sword with that. I feel like I take a lot more risks, and I'm a lot more pressure central. Yeah, when it comes to my character. However, yeah, taking those risks can earn me real quick victories. If you see my matches, the ones I win, I either steamroll my competition, or they wait out, they learn what I'm doing, and it lasts a little bit longer, and I lose.
You're the Ricky Bobby of Street Fighter 6.
That makes that's not a bad statement, But yeah, I feel like I take a lot more risks. I don't necessarily like waiting in the back of the corner, just holding down back, waiting for my opportunity. Most of the times, I'll do that from time to time, but most of my offense is my best defense. I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
If they can't deal with it, then they're not hitting me.
God, it's it's a lightning round, dude. It's always a lightning round. Either that, or I got to slow you down to a full molasses crawl.
Mhm.
One of the two. So yeah, and what's something you do worse? You think? What's the worst? What's your worst trait?
Are straight, yeah. Is when I do overextend, when I do take those risks, I go all in. So like, if you block a headbutt, I'm probably gonna EX headbutt. If you block headbutt and I don't have EX, I'm probably gonna super. I'm probably gonna wake up super if I know you're like right above me and you've hit me every other time without considering, oh, you might block it this time. But I'll just overextend to the point where I'm just exhausted. I've got no meter, no resources, and I just lose in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
There's
All
no way
right,
they
now-
expect you to do it again.
Again,
No,
yeah,
he hits me
exactly.
with
Yeah.
that shit. He hits me with that
Other
shit all
time's a
the time.
charm.
I see people get hit with that shit all the time. It's like, and then they call him a gremlin.
Hmm.
But it's that's Mason, and it's one of the things that makes him so awesome. All right. speaking of awesome, I think you're one of the more positive people in the scene. How do you channel that kind of energy all the dang on time?
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So what do you do? What do you do? What's the mindset here though?
I'm just playing a game. I have this passion for this character. Ever since I've played this game, I've had passion for these big body characters, trying to bring them from the depths of the tier charts to contend with people all the way up to the top to prove that there is a possibility for everyone to do what they need to. Kusamundo, big Street Fighter 2 player, put it best. There are no like character switches in IRL, so you play with what you got and you do the best you can. And if you do good, everyone else should be happy for you. I mean, you're trying the best you can.
Yeah, that's quite remarkable. Yeah, I like that. Another fan question, and it's the same one that Jagger got again. Why should people new to Street Fighter 6 play your main?
Play my main, okay.
Play your main.
If they like having fun. Yeah, I mean,
having fun. Let's get down.
Yeah, this will. It's a good exercise for you to realize like what you're gonna have a lot of fun in the beginning, especially if you're climbing up the ranks. You're gonna have a lot of fun, and then when you get to that master point, this is when the real work begins. Okay, everyone knows the craziness with your character, and the way they're able to deal with it. You got to contend with doing something abnormal than what you did to get up to that rank, right? Like, I'm not gonna spam headbutt like 8 times in a row because eventually, I mean, the master rank, that's not gonna work after the second one when perfect parry's a thing. So all these new mechanics, you gotta learn to adapt yourself and counter their counter with your counter. It's the best way to really learn again how your tools need to be used. The best way to look at the character is like a toolbox and know which situations to use which tools.
So play like a tool.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
All right, Mason. Here's a question for you that it's one of my questions.
Okay.
What's the favorite set that you played in all season?
Okay. I have two.
Knocks out.
Yeah, one of them is that knocks out. I got Two-Face against Buddy Like Friend, and it went to last round, and I had him in a situation where I had him in the yellow, but I was already too far into this combo. And Honda, unfortunately, in that season and still in this season, has this problem where converting off to his level 3 can be a struggle if they're too high in the air. And at this point, he was way too high in the air for me to convert, but after he saw the hands, which go straight into level 3 typically, he started dropping his controller. He already gave up, and then I just let him physically drop, and then I command grabbed him because it wouldn't have landed, it wouldn't have connected, and it wouldn't have killed if I did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So never give up. Yeah. It's essentially the best takeaway from that. Even until you see that KO screen, don't drop that controller because why you getting up?
Yeah. So what's the second one you got then?
Second one would definitely be my game against you at Hideaway, where I was really taking advantage of trying to go aggro, but with the throws because I got tired of them perfect parries, and I would just steamroll again like I usually do going through the game, and then you got me back in reset, and then grand finals.
Yeah. That's that. Yeah, our sets are always either lightning rounds where we blitz each other to death, or our sets. They give me heart attacks. They're terrifying.
Yeah.
If you could play any other character at the highest possible level, what would that character be?
Oh, okay.
Like you're out there winning Evo.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can't be Honda though.
It can't be Honda. You see, I would do Honda.
I know you would do Honda. That's why I'm asking you this question. Any other character?
It would probably be Geef.
Geef?
I feel like if I got a lot stronger with my Geef, I would have a lot more fun victories. Because the crowd, I'm a huge crowd pleaser. I love when the crowd starts cheering whenever they see that animation, that little command grab that gets thrown up in the air, and the whole crowd starts roaring because they know it's gonna happen, and they just see that health deplete. Add that to my mental stack. It was super fun. I would love to play Geef at a very high level.
Yeah. So and that's admirable. I love crowd pop-offs and performing for the crowd, but I play Lily, which everyone thinks is really boring to watch, unfortunately.
I always say
tell you what,
I always
We need
say
a
that-
good geef, honestly.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Hey, have a good geef.
We got good geef. Swiggins is crazy.
Yeah, Razor. That's what we're talking about, right?
Raised, yeah. Oh,
But I always say that Mason is your favorite Kentucky player's favorite Street Fighter player. Like so that's always been the saying with this guy.
all right, Mason. Thank you for your time, brother. I'm gonna get the Dez next.
Understood. Great talking with y'all.
Yeah. Let's see. Where's Dez at? Dez, I need you to hop into the chat, into the voice chat. Where you at, Dez?
There he is. There
Okay.
he is.
All right. So we only had 2 interviews. I think this is interesting. Oh, first, hi, Dez. How are you? And can you tell us about yourself?
Oh, geez, hold up. I gotta close the stream because I'm getting an echo, and that is extremely annoying.
Yeah.
I'm doing all right. Currently at a wrestling tournament for middle school for her son. So I've been here all day. It's been great.
Yeah. So, I got a bunch of questions for you, and I got some fan questions. This is one of the reasons why I even pulled you in, because you kept getting fan questions despite not winning the vote. So here we are.
I was like wondering because you literally messaged me out of the blue, like, "Hey, are you available?" I'm like, "Did I even win?" Like, I wasn't checking the voting because it was like me, Miss Input, and like Zombie Guts and Jack are like all tied at some point or something like that. Or Mason all tied up at some point. I'm like, all right, well, like if this ends up being a tie, cool. But like then I saw Jagger get like 12 votes. I'm like, all right, so stole that. All right.
Yeah. Jagger definitely stole the show on that one. Everyone wanted to hear from Jagger. So we'll get started. Okay, we got the first fan question for you. Okay.
All right.
What do you do with training mode? And what kind of drills do you practice? How do you use training mode? And how do you personally use training mode?
Okay, since we're talking about basically years of experience here, and thankfully Street Fighter 6 has a significantly better training mode. The majority of the time, depending on what I'm practicing, I will practice it like 10, 20, 30, 40 times. I'll have like a recording set up of just very typical situations that a lot of characters like to put somebody in. And then I would just mix that bag with like 4 or 5 different recordings to try and recognize a lot of situations all in one. So my mental stack's not overloaded.
Yeah. It's a good drill.
And then it's the same thing. It's the same thing with execution, where it's like if I have an execution barrier or something like that, I'll do a combo 10 times in a row, then 20 times in a row, 30 times in a row. Not allow myself to drop that combo and then start over. Like that's pretty much the drill that I would do.
Okay. Awesome. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. So on to my questions, I'll ask you more fan questions later. But so what is your favorite? You're really storied and have a big history with Street Fighter. I think you might be the biggest vet in the scene at this point. Maybe, I don't know, but I know you've been playing for a very long time. What is your personal favorite Street Fighter? And in that, can you identify like your favorite moment of all time in the FTC?
My favorite Street Fighter is Alpha 3, and that was typically because I always liked the combo system in that game. That was actually kind of helped by Boss, and he also kind of did the CVS2 combo system. But Guy was also extremely fun in that game. He was like mid-tier, but he was extremely fun in that game and very rewarding. But if anybody knows anything about old Street Fighter games, there's always been like some weird stuff that always happens. Mason probably knows exactly what I'm talking about, where there used to be player 1 advantage and player 2 advantage, where on player 2 side, certain characters could do certain things that player 1 can't, and vice versa. So Guy was also one of those characters where in Alpha 3, if he did a certain combo with his level 3, he would cross them up in the corner and get a different route. And typically, most people want to stay on player 1 side because they get the corner route, which would lead into stun. And that also applies to both player 1 and player 2. If you knew how to proximity cancel, you could boost and flip, grab Geef in the corner. So that was my favorite.
Okay, and Mason agrees with you in chat, by the way. So.
Yeah. My favorite FTC moment?
Yeah.
All right, there's going to be 3. Obviously, Evo 37. Everyone's favorite moment was Evo 37, so that's completely fine. Another was Goichi versus Leffen at
Mhm.
Evo in Dragon Ball Fighters. Literally peak when that came to just a full 3 minutes of just trying to beat your opponent. That was easily a peak in terms of that. And then I would have to say just it's a mix between Tokido's Evo win and Daigo's Evo win between 2009 and 2010 with Street Fighter 4. And probably just an honorable mention is just being able to see Kyo, who's my favorite guy player, playing Alpha 3 way back in like 2001 when Evo was known as B5.
Yeah, watching Daigo win Evo was probably pretty hype. I still want to watch Daigo win something before he, he probably will never retire, but I would love to see that man win something in Street Fighter 6. So, all right. Same question I asked everybody. What's been your favorite set of the PR season for yourself?
This season, probably every single one between Zombie Guts.
Everyone in between Zombie Gut. Yeah, that's a good little rivalry you got going. They've always been bomb sets. I've watched each and every one of them, actually. They've been really good. What about that set that you like?
It's more or less just because of the teacher-student combination. Like, beginning of this season, sorry, Zombie, I might have to air this out. The beginning of this season, Zombie was actually very, dismantled by the way he's been playing lately.
Yeah.
And Jesus. And pretty much leading up into this season, he was just like, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue after the Invitational. Beating me actually gave him a lot more of a boost.
Yeah.
Because it provided a lot more confidence. And then, of course, just his overall performances going forward.
Yeah. He's really racking up wins this season. Yeah. So, yeah, that's glad that was a good. Yeah, I love that. And then a fan question, same ones that the other guys got because everyone this particular one wanted to hear it from everybody. What's something you do better than I already know. I have an answer for this, but I want you to answer it too. What's something you do better with your main that you do better than anyone else? And considering I play every one of you,
I already know what your answer is going to be.
Yeah.
Safe pressure.
Yeah, it is safe pressure. Oh my god. Yeah. So, what's your opinion?
Yeah, that's clearly one. And then just overall, just having the depth of knowledge of my character is really the other thing that kind of sets me apart. Because there's a lot of things that even like Shine, Psycho, this even goes back to Street Fighter 5 with Zeku, Street Fighter 4 with Guy. Like, I was essentially like the teacher of that character when it came to USA scene. Aside from like the other FR echelon, because it was pretty much like us that kind of knew everything and was able to always consistently do that.
Mm. So, and then the same question that everyone else got: what do you suck at the most?
It's kind of hard question because like most people will probably say it's, especially as a Kim player, it would be like defense, but I don't think so. I'm so used to playing a character with no reversal that it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
I think, and more so, it's just that the one thing I probably would say I suck at is like if I get fixated on wanting to do something, I will commit to always trying to do that if I know you have a certain habit. And then I guess just Kim specific, and this is probably due to the fact that it finally got busted again, is just not using it enough.
Mm-hmm. All right.
The previous season, there was no point using it.
Yeah. So, I got one last question for you, Dev. You've been pretty busy with this season. The main thing I've noticed is that you didn't travel that much, which you usually are all over the place. Do you plan to travel next season? What's the news on that? Because you went to Knoxville. I don't think you went to anything else besides in-state stuff, right?
Yep, just in-state stuff. I couldn't travel because basically from the start of the school season, and going into like even now, like pretty much the children over here have football season, then it goes right into wrestling season. So my Saturdays or my Sundays get killed pretty much because it's like, all right, we got an obligation to go here. I can't enter this tournament.
Yeah.
And then in some cases it just ends in the breaks. Like even with ECT, I was supposed to go we had an unfortunate family situation that happened for her and a friend. So this season, I should be good, especially like going into February. I should still be going to Frosty, but that's about it. Unless the weather decides to not be friendly.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this past week.
yeah, for sure. All right, it is time to get into the rankings. I appreciate this conversation, friend, and I'll see
No
you in
problem.
the tournament.
All right.
Yep. All right.
The grand
Next
reveal.
slide.
Here we go.
So I want to go over real quick how the PR works, right? Because I know I repeat this every time that we do this, but I just want to make it loud and clear how all this stuff works. It's data driven. There are 7 panelists that vote at the end of every season. It's a 4-month period. I don't know why I put down a 3-month period. That's just bad habit. 4-month period. What's considered is placement at brackets, how hard those brackets are, the head-to-head data, overall consistency. What I mean by overall consistency is how often you finish in the place that you do, how often do you win brackets, how often do you lose, where do you lose, that kind of thing. Head-to-head is, oh, there's a Jagger jump scare again. So how hard, and then how hard a bracket is. Just because something is a bigger event, doesn't mean it's a harder bracket. And the example, I'm sorry to air this one out, Jeremy, but the example here was like the Hideaway the night before the last DSG bracket. They were equal in weight by, well, one was heavier in weight by 0.1 point, and that was because the amount of the people that showed up at the Hideaway were all killers. Whereas like we had a higher turnout at BSG, but it wasn't. They weren't as killer, so to speak. So that's going to reflect on how hard a bracket is. And then, of course, your overall consistency. Once the season's finished, the panelists discuss the whole 4-month period over the course of a 2-week discussion period. And then they vote with their personal list. That personal list is then taken into an average, and whoever has the lowest averages take the best position. So, in other words, let's say, give an example. Let's say player X is voted 5 votes 1, 2 votes 2, for a total of 7 votes. Their average is going to be very much close to 1. And if someone's ranked 10, if they all vote ranked 10, then their average is going to be 10 exactly. So the lowest score is the highest ranking in that case because 1 is a higher rank than 10. So, all right. That being said, let's get into it.
Here we go.
First and foremost, hidden bosses. Hidden boss is something that we want to give a shout out to all the heavy hitters in our scene that have done some work at some brackets, but haven't quite qualified, but are active nonetheless. These hidden bosses are something to be look out for. They add value to a bracket in a real way, and they make things quite hard when you end up against them. Do not underestimate these 4 players in our bracket. That is Uncle George of Louisville, Splash in Lexington, I believe, Cerns, which is in Louisville. And then Wiles is somewhere around Lexington. I'm actually not for sure exactly where Wiles lives.
It's the central Kentucky area, yeah.
Central Kentucky area. So these are our hidden bosses. In order to qualify as a hidden boss, you have to not qualify for PR, and also do something else. A shout out to Sammy SS. The reason why Sammy SS wasn't on this list is because Sammy only did 1 tournament. But that 1 tournament he made some noise at. Yeah. So you need more than 1 tournament. And go to the next.
Absolutely. Here we go.
So here are our first ranked players, our honorable mentions. These are effectively what you would see as rank 11, but they're all tied for rank 11. This is Finn Swiggins and Billy Vegetables, also known as Stick. I think that's what Billy told me his new name was. So
I have not seen this before, so that's new.
Yeah, no, I asked Billy personally, and Billy responded.
Formerly known as Pro Planter.
Yeah. So that is our HMs. The reason they all have varying different reasons why they're here. Right? Swiggins, I'll start with Swiggins. Swiggins had a bombshell month and a half last part of the season. Like absolutely taking names. Wins on Button Checker. Wins on Dez. Wins on. I think he got Mason. I'm not for sure. I don't have it pulled up, but I have the others pulled up. But his first part of the season was just not it, and it was a rough season at the start of the season for Swiggins. Easily a top 10 contender. Billy Vegetables had some really, really good highs. Zombie Guts win. I think that might have been your highest high.
Yeah, he had a
And BDC, you're mentioned in this presentation. Well, you'll get to you. Don't worry. Yeah, it's just the big problem with Billy Vegetables is a lot of his tournament data is the Moorhead local, and he just wins them. The issue that happens is like he doesn't really interact with a whole lot of the other players, which we would like to see him interact with more players and he does. He comes to tournaments, but just need to see more outside of Moorhead play, and that would probably do the trick. And then we have Finn. I'm not gonna make Finn talk for himself here, but Finn had a pretty rough season for Finn, I'd say. Kind of floundering through the middle part of the bracket. He did have some pretty high highs. I believe finished third in a mash out. Finn, is that true? Yeah.
Yeah. I had a little mash out run where I beat Randy and Billy at Easter. It was a pretty bad season for me. Had some close sets against Splash, Steven, and Corey, but close sets don't count as wins. So, but I was able to get like wins on, like I said, Button Checker, Billy, Uncle George, and not that many bad losses. I think BDC was like the worst loss that I took throughout the season.
Yeah, you didn't have any bad losses.
It was just very middling of the pack, and I usually have like a breakthrough bracket or two where I make everybody think that I'm good for a second, and that didn't
How
occur.
many close calls? That close call versus missed input, brother.
Yeah, no. I had three. There's definitely three sets, maybe four, because I did have one against Dez where I kind of mailed it in. I was up a game and did a really stupid combo conversion. But we'll try again next time.
Shout out to Billy Vegetables for that comment. I'm not 21, so that kind of limits me. But your Lexington options are about to open wide open, brother.
Yeah,
you're going to have.
We'll have a lot more events as well.
Yeah, so we're definitely in the works with a lot of people talking to a lot of people, trying to get more venues open, trying to get more people, more tournaments going, so folks like you have more opportunity. So we'll get into that. So let's get into the actual rankings. At the end of these rankings, I have a tournament wins table to kind of show everybody where the tournament wins at. So this is our Kentucky Street Fighter 6 Power Rankings, the illustration by Jimmy Potts. Shout out to Jimmy Potts for putting this together for us. There will be an HM graphic that will be made. It's not quite ready, and that's okay. But when the graphic itself is posted, we'll get into it.
Ready to go?
We are ready to go. Who's that Pokemon? Okay. So who do you think that this is? Obviously, Reggie Giga's front. So Jagger is our number 10 contender. So
okay, so chat's guessing whose favorite Pokemon this is. Is that or who gets ranked where? Is that the game that we're playing? Okay,
Yeah,
I need to slow down. My bad.
We need to give chat some time to answer to say who's.
I wasn't given the rundown. My bad.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're gonna play Who's That Pokemon? And
it's Pikachu.
Guess the player, not the Pokemon. We all know the Pokemon.
You can get the Pokemon and the player if you want.
Yeah. I mean, there's at least one in there that I don't think most people are going to recognize.
No, because y'all are Pokemon boomers. Jesus Christ, all the Gen 1.
they only know Gen 1 Pokemon.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the stats. All right, Jagger.
Yeah, we are.
Our number 10, the first person ranked. Here we go. We have our Krillin Jagger, Krillin Guile. So if you look at the bottom, you see how the panelists voted. Jagger got 7 10s as his vote, which means
guaranteed 10.
Yeah. Guaranteed 10. And so, well, not really. Sometimes like you'll see. Go back. Don't slide.
We're good.
Go back. All right. So going there, you kind of break down his head-to-head. You see that he's in the red against most of like we got Missed Input Yellow, Zyson red, Zombie Guts yellow. Didn't play Dez, didn't play Zombie Guts. 03, 02, 03. These Billy Vegetables one up on even with Sniffles. Button Checker has a winning record on 4-1. Finn has a winning record on 1-0. Mason the Ogre losing record on 3-5. But he had some pretty high highs and some awfully low lows, and if Jagger could avoid those low lows, he'd get a lot more quality on this ranking. But he's just very volatile right now. But I do see that improving. Jagger is playing on the classic set, and his finished rating on the season was 1965. His previous rank was honorable mention, so he has ranked up from season to season in this case. Best wins are me, which is Ison, Sniffles, Button Checker, Mason the Ogre, Finn, Billy Vegetables, and I just read chat and laughed. Sorry. So top placements is second at the Hideaway again. Matchstick 30 had second place finish, a double barreled 7th place finish, and a 3rd place at the Hideaway again. Overall, pretty good. The only two of the biggest blips on Jagger's radar is his last Hideaway wasn't very good for him, and his knocks out was also not very good. Controller John's aside. So that's it for Jagger.
All right, here we go.
All right, so who's that Pokemon?
We're
Anyone
trying to
guess who
leave
this
some time
Pokemon is? Who is it? I mean, the person who picked the Pokemon knows it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who do you think?
The one Pokemon Zombie Guts knows.
Yeah, the zombie got this with Pikachu. All right, so let's reveal the name.
Right, here we go.
Mason the Ogre at number 9.
Let's go.
So we will go to the next stat. Go to the stat screen. Mason is one of the first ones where looks like it was pretty decisive on the 9 vote for Mason. We had one panelist rank him as 8. The other panelists voted him as 9. So for a total rank of 8.8, as you can see, there was no 9 ratings. It's just so we have what this says is we have a pretty close vote. Previous rank for Mason was number 7. There were some new people that shows up on the power ranking, and it really causes a shuffle. Rating at 1983, we have a classic Honda. You can see the highs and lows with probably the Invitational being Mason's lowest low this season, but he didn't finish too great at the latter half either. Much like Jagger, Mason had a volatile season where he would either peak out. He has won tournaments, but he has also 0-2'd at tournaments.
Ricky Bobby.
And this causes a very when you're ranking him. So that kind of volatility just doesn't do well when it comes to the database ranking. Best wins: Ison, Buddy Like Friend, Button Checker, Jagger, Damascusco, and Swiggins. Those are some of the better wins that Mason has churned out. Top placements: he won a Hideaway. And we have another 2nd place finish, Matchstick 30 at 5th, but Double Barrel, which is a strong finish at 5th place, and Knocks Out, which is a very strong finish, beating Buddy Like Friend at 13th. This is you can take a look at his head-to-head. He has a win on Zyson, 2-1 on Swiggins, 0-2 for Steven. In general, 0-1 on Billy, 0-1 on Top Gun, 2-7 with Buttons, and 5-3 on Jagger, sealing the deal for Mason at number 9. We move forward.
All right,
Who's that Pokemon?
Pokemon.
Another Gen 1.
Wait, yeah.
Another Gen, a bunch of boomers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which freak picked Vaporeon?
Yeah.
All right. Top Gun.
It is Top Gun. Button Checker knows the joke, right?
Yep.
All right, so let's take a look at Top Gun stats. Got Top Gun, also the artist.
Top Nasty Gun.
Top Nasty. Oh, okay. So we have the artist credits in the middle of the JP picture. I left it in there to give the artist the credit.
Yeah,
There's also some artist crediting at the end of the slideshow if this artist did not sign their work. So we have, you see, focus your eyes immediately on the tournament chart for Top Gun. You see he only played in 4 tournaments. This is held against you when you come to, especially when you start getting the higher rank. So you can see Top Gun, we start seeing, by the way, Top Gun was tied. He was tied for 7th with our next person. And you can see the votes broke down 8-7, 8-7, 8-7, 8 with a total of 7.5. Now, how do you tie with an 8-7, 8-7, 8-7, 8? Well, someone voted the other person 9. So that's how you tie with that. Our best wins for Top Gun: Swiggins, Finn, Mason the Ogre, Jagger, Gary, and Spectral Star with Knocks Out. Top placements: he placed 25th at Knocks Out, BSG Fighters 20th, 5th, Double Barrel at 4th, and Hideaway at 3rd. That was the most stacked Hideaway of the season with me and Dez rounding out the top 3 for number 37. It was like everybody almost showed out for that tournament because of Bourbon beforehand. It was a crazy hideaway. So as you can see, he didn't really place poorly. Knocks out at 25th isn't terrible. It's not great, but in general, he just needed more brackets. But he didn't really miss, so to speak. So earned him a number 8. Next one, please.
Who's that Pokemon?
Who's that Pokemon? Anyone know?
We are getting nothing. It's silence. All right, let's go on, right?
A dumb seal. Close. Its preform is called seal. Spelled with 2 E's instead.
Boom. It's Randy.
It's Button Checker posing as Dugong. So we got number 7 Button Checker. Moving forward, let's look at the stats. So with Button Checker, this is the tie. The way this tie broke was panelists revoted between Button Checker and Top Gun, and Button Checker took by 1 vote. So as you can see, 7978787 were the votes cast. Button Checker, 0-0 on missed input, didn't meet him. 1-6 on me. Zombie Guts did not play. 0-2 on Dez. 2-1 for Swiggins. 0-0 Top Gun. 3-1 Sniffles. 0-1 on Finn. 7-2 on Mason Younger. Jagger at 1-4. Buttons is one of our more traveled warriors.
Yeah.
Like, he has, I think, something like 15 brackets this season. I didn't put the amount of brackets they had, but you can see it in the points.
I call him one of our more local warriors. I mean, how many of those brackets are in Louisville?
I don't know, but he did go to Cincinnati. Who else went to Cincinnati?
That's true. He went to Cincinnati. He went to Tennessee.
One other player went
Is
to
anyone else
Cincinnati.
noticing a pattern here, by the way, that 3 out of these 4 have beat Zyson at least once, while they have not took out any of the other top players? Just throw that out there. If that should affect some of the votes here.
Right? All right. So we have best wins. 1 on me, 1 on Sniffles, 1 on Mason the Ogre, 1 on Jagger, 1 on Goonie Cord, and 1 on Gar. 1-2 hideaways, got a 3rd place finish at the BSG Fighters. Match stick at 30, the 3rd, knocked out 17th. Very solid. But unfortunately, Button Checker fell under the umbrella of just not being consistent.
He had a character crisis halfway through the season as well, didn't he?
And I think it's just his permanent mindset.
Yeah.
Him and the Sniffles. But this season's right now I'm the Button for the signature wins.
Oh, the government mandated win has moved to Zyson.
Yeah. But more on that later. So so we have it's just the Invitational had a very poor finish on it. We had a bad finish at a hideaway one night, but not quite. It was the last hideaway, and he got 5th place because he lost to me and Dez. And that's a bad 5th place. And shout outs to Swiggins for throwing Dez in the losers bracket that soon. But that caused Buttons to go out at 5th because he had to play Dez early in the losers.
Yeah, that's happened at a lot of tournaments this season. Not just Dez, but other like traditionally powerhouse players take a loss early in bracket. There was one bracket where Zombie Guts was knocked into losers round 1, and so everybody in losers just had to deal with Zombie Guts.
I went 1-2 at that bracket. Lost to Dez and Zombie.
Yeah, I mean, it's the double. I mean, yeah, you get knocked into losers by Kimberly, and then you have to play this second best Kimberly right after that.
So this is Randy's previous rating was 5th. He is a classic, quote unquote, loop main. We'll see where the dime finishes later on, but I do have faith in his loop. So let's move forward.
Here we go.
Number 6. Things starting to heat up and starting to get interesting.
Pokemon. Anybody
all right, not Gen 1 Pokemon. Who's that Pokemon? Yeah, Zombie knows that one. Yeah. Zombie knows that one.
Boom.
And this is number 6, Sniffles.
From one character crisis to another.
Yes, our 2 character crisis bros. So Sniffles. For Sniffles, he was the previous number 4 at a rating of 2,088. had a decent sample size of tournaments at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0-2 against Missed Input, 0-3 against Zyson, 1-1 against Zombie Guts. Got a win on Dez. Steven 2 Brazu is 1-0. Swiggins 2-0. Top Gun 1-0. Billy 1-0. Button Checker 1-3 on Buttons, 1-0 on Finn, even on Jagger. Sniffles is a pretty solid contender.
Yes.
And has been for the top 5. Very consistent. He's on fire. He is our second place. He's our runner-up at the Kentucky PR Invitational at second place. BSG fighters. Look at all those second places. Second, third, fourth. He's a force to be reckoned with. And the fact that this person is 6 shows our state growth, y'all. Like, we are cooking. And so this is just, big. Sniffles is an amazing player. It's just, I think, a character crisis, especially with that last tournament and his Cammy. Might have drug him down a little bit.
Yeah, Chun-Li and Hazard as well. That was a difference.
Oh, he played Chun and Hazard.
Yeah.
I think I might have just put a random select on Sniffles, and it would have been because I think he played. Has he played a different character every tournament? Literally.
I think so. Yeah.
And played Bison against me. I wish I would have got that kind of
that
kind of love.
I think he's averaged. I think he's played 7 different characters this season. Like legit. All right, move forward.
Here we go. Hey,
who's that Pokemon? Another Gen 1, you boomers.
Yeah, a lot of boomers here. That Street Fighter's a boomer game, right? I mean.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Okay, that's time. Nido Jack.
Nido Jack.
Here we go.
Pikachu. It's Nido King, y'all. Steven Tuberzoo, representing the first person of our top 5. Very strong Marisa player. Let's see those stats.
What a gooner ass pick is that?
That's why I was looking for anime things, dude. That's the first thing to come up from Marisa. There you go. Steven had a very solid finish at CEO Otaku, which definitely helped in the ratings. 5, 5, 5, 6, 5, 5, 6 on the vote, as in that means that actually the 5th and 6th spot were pretty close. And it came down to 1 vote, I believe, what the difference between 5 and 6 were, so these 2 are very close. Best wins on this one: Jagger, Mason Yoder, Zombie Guts, Sammy SS, Smoking Seabass, and Dev. Dev over at CEO Otaku, Smoking Seabass in Cincinnati. Smoking Seabass is one of Cincinnati's higher-end players in that area. So 0-2 on Missed Input, 0-1 on Zeiss, and 2-0 Zombie Guts. Hasn't played Dez, hasn't played Swiggins, hasn't played Top Gun. 3-0 on Billy, Finn, Mason Yoder, 3-0 Jagger. And overall, just a pretty heavily good, consistent player. Won a match ticket in order to get into LCQ. Didn't do so bad at the Invitational, but it's not listed as one of the best tournaments. Cincy Clash at the 5th. Great Cave Offensive, his win. Has won 2 tournaments this season, so we're starting to get into like these tournament winners at this point.
Yeah, and we're also getting to the point where we're starting to see players who have a majority of positive records against the other PR players.
Yeah, one thing that's a little deceptive as well is, in the actual bracket, Steven, he had a good run. That the Invitational is a crazy stacked bracket. All 16 players there are really great. And I believe he made top 8 at that event. And even though his actual bracket run doesn't look that great, he was in round robin pools, which allowed him to rack up 4 quick victories. He went undefeated in those pools, and that adds up on your PR resume. Getting those 4 wins right off the bat, especially considering his invitational, or not the invitational, the LCQ performance that he had. It was a really great start for him. And then, he just traveled out to a couple places and continued to produce good results.
Yeah, it was, so previously a hidden boss. This is, this is what happens when hidden bosses start making it out of the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Increase your sample size, guys. If you think you're that player, if you think you've got it, increase your sample size. Start playing other big events, other big players, and you can do it, man.
All right, moving on to number 4. By the way, fun fact: Hitmonlee was the only Pokemon requested
twice. Oh, we had a fight over it.
We had a fight over Hitmonlee.
Had to default to the higher ranked.
Everybody likes the Bruce Lee imitations.
Yeah. So, all right.
Here
So,
we go.
I didn't give it y'all guess. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
We got Zombie Guts at number 4. Zombie Guts, the most number four according to panelists at 4.
Yeah, across the board.
Across the board. Overall, smaller sample size, but good enough. Can't hold him for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Zombie Guts, I was looking at his start GG, and he just hasn't been playing that much this season. And I think I know why, but I'm not going to dig into his personal life. But solid season nonetheless. Missed Input wins, Deznere wins, Sniffles wins, Billy Vegetable wins, Azura wins, at knocks out Swiggins, not knocks out. That was a token showdown. Overall top placements: knocks out 9th, the Kentucky PR Invitational, our 3rd place finisher. Small Town Beatdown 2nd, Great Cave Offensive 2nd, Token Throwdown 3rd. Could not capture that tournament win this season, but so close. You see the breakdown of the records on that. Previous number 3, and honestly, despite falling down in rank, this is a stronger Zombie Guts than last season. I can say that for a lot of our players, but this was a stronger Zombie Guts than last season.
This is a power creep more than a nerf.
Yeah, so. All right, next on the list, our top 3. Who's that Pokemon?
Twitch chat being very normal tonight, according to
being very normal.
All right.
Come on, y'all know who this one is. Someone knows who this one is. There's a movie.
All right, let's go.
Frieza. Yeah, it does look like Frieza. You're not wrong. Mewtwo, of course.
There it is.
Missed Input at number 3. So Missed Input. So I'm going to go ahead and say this. The number 1, 2, and 3 positions can all be shuffled around.
Yeah, this is interesting here, yeah.
this is where we're getting controversial.
This is,
we're getting kind of controversial. Like, you can shuffle all 3 of these players around, and you can make an argument about which one's which, right? So why Zombie Guts not Zombie Guts? Why Missed Input at 3? So overall 4 tournaments, but the PR Invitational at 7th. He doesn't interact. He didn't really interact with many people. We have a winning record on everybody. So Missed Input didn't kind of bombed out at Invitational, losing to Zombie Guts and Dez. No, it wasn't Dez. It was Zombie Guts and who was this other loss at Invitational? Splash. Splash is a hidden boss. So he lost to Splash and Zombie Guts at the Invitational. And then the knocks out performance, while at 7th, he only really played Zombie Guts. So it just the tournament path just wasn't lucky enough, and the main reason why that happened is because Tito G dropped out of that bracket. And for whatever reasons he did, no fault to Tito G, but he just his bracket path was a little on the milder side for that. BSG Fighter showing up real strong, beating both me and Dez in that bracket, and so Signature wins. He has a win on everybody. He is a dangerous force, and if came out to more tournaments, could easily be number 1 in the state, bar none.
Oh, see, this is interesting. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, so
we're going to talk more after we go after that.
Yeah, votes being 3. Well, one panelist voted him number 1 in the state. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 2 points to everyone for it. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to our number 2.
It's such a big reveal. Hey, look.
Who's that Pokemon? Interesting as Mew, right?
Yeah. We went from Mewtwo to Mew. There we go. And the big reveal.
Number 2. Deznere. So,
Go ahead.
All right, so Dez had a very strong knocks out run. I would actually argue a lot of the times with knocks out and the way seeding works, right? First he gets the easiest path. It wasn't really the case in my opinion on this for Dez. And so, I think Zombie Guts actually not Zombie. Fuck, why I keep on saying Zombie Guts for Missed Input? I think Missed Input actually had an easier bracket run at knocks out than the other contenders there. And that's, like I said, this because a lot of people in his bracket DQ'd out. So we have Buddy Like Friend on the wins, Artificial Holly, Zyson, Missed Input, Zombie Guts, Sniffles. Top placements, Knocks Out, Double Barreled first, the Kentucky PR Invitational fourth, Matchstick first, Small Town Beatdown first. He is 1-2 against Missed Input, 2-2 against Zyson, 1-2 against Zombie Guts, 0-0. So that's another thing, is like he was either even or a losing record against those players. 3-1 on Swiggins, 2-1 on Sniffles. Overall, Dez was voted 2-3, 2-2, 2-2-2. So second place almost unanimously. And that is Dez at a rating of 2440. He didn't get his normal out of state buff that he usually gets because he didn't go to anything that no one else went to. Dez usually gets a pretty good boost out of his national placements. Like he does really well in those, but it just wasn't there this season because he didn't drive. He didn't travel. He couldn't travel. That being said,
Onward.
Oh,
look,
who's that Pokemon?
Look at you, Gen Niner.
Yeah, he's my favorite, dude.
All of us are boomers, and Zyson's over here zooming.
Yeah, there we go. Louisville's basically Ohio. It's not really Kentucky. All right, let's go ahead. We know what's coming up. It can only
Skelly Dirge.
It can only be our guy,
Yeah.
Zyson.
Yeah. So Skelly Dirge, and Skelly Dirge has his passive. It's called Unaware. So you can it's so stupid that if you try to lower its stats, it doesn't understand that you're lowering its stats, so it doesn't affect it.
It's hideous, is what some people say.
Rating. So previous number 2, best wins: Dez, Zombie Guts, Musa, Steven Tuber Zeus, Sniffles, Johnny the Flash. First place at the Kentucky PR Invitational, 9th at Knocks Out BSG Fighters 21st. Fuck Around Flash Kick 37 first, but BSG Double Barreled second. 70% win rate on all tournaments attended. Is kind of what that clocked out to. I lost the last 2 sets of the entire season to put me at a losing record at Missed Input. And then after that, I'm even or beating everyone else in the state. So 1-0, 2-2, 1-0, 3-0, 2-0, 0-0, 3-0, 6-1, 2-0, 4-1, 3-1. The votes went 1-2, 1-1, 1-1-1 at a 1.14. Consistency kind of won out on this one. Go ahead, Finn. Because I know you want to say.
He's...
I mean, I was just gonna say that. You know, Zyson does have a few losses that came up. I remember Jeremy saying earlier, see how all these guys have a loss or have a win on Zyson. How could that be if he's number 1? Well, it's because he plays these people like every 2 weeks, right? And if you'll notice, all those people were kind of on the lower end of this list. I think sort of a decision was made that, not to discount him too much for these losses, simply because they're more likely to come because he plays them all the time. Same way, they're not getting extreme value out of those wins because they play him all the time. The opportunity comes all the time for them. And that's just not true for Corey or for Dez. I don't think either of those players have 7 sets against anybody.
No.
So
Yeah,
when you're rolling the dice that many times, you're gonna get a snake eyes a couple. So
the other thing is, I actually every time that I lost, besides the Dez is the only person on this list. I still won the tournament. Dez is the only person that has fully eliminated me from a tournament this season. Well, Missed Input too. So players have fully eliminated me.
Hey, loss is a loss.
A loss is a loss, but
So and good people are consistent. Anyways, not that I'm on the panel, but whenever I did blind rank it, I had the same order as the actual PR. So
I did, and so people know. I haven't said this out, but I had 4 people blind rank the top 3 just to try to aid with that. And Jeremy did. I witnessed. I had him blind ranked, and he ranked this as number 1 as well. So that is your PR. Go to the next one. This is your full graphic. Oh wait, I want to talk about this too. This is tournament win rate, and this is
Yes,
also
your win
BDT
rate.
has mentioned. BTC has won 2 tournaments this season. He is on the radar. Splash is a hidden boss. Gary Son also on the radar at a 1 tournament win. The top 3 tournament winners for the season are Zyson, Deznere, and Billy Vegetable. Missed Input with 1 tournament win. Button Checker, BDC, even at 2. Mason has won 1. Swiggins has won 1. And you can kind of see the bracket win rate at 70, 50, 63, 25, 29, 13, 25, 8, 33, 9, and 14, respectively. So,
Yeah, it kind of speaks for itself, this one. Here we go.
So that is there's our full graphic. It'll be posted later when the HM graphic is made, and that is everything. I believe. Is that the last slide? No, we have
Yeah, we
credits.
have a couple more. Yeah, we have a couple, like the thank yous and stuff.
Yeah. So go down. Appendix, and then this is our art caption. If you're interested in those art. Now we will take you to Sunday Street. I'm sorry for going so over. I was a bit optimistic on time, but it is what it is. Thank you all for coming out. I actually forgot where I got the Marisa art.
Yeah, where did you get that Marisa art?
If you type in Marisa, into Google Marisa SF Street Fighter 6 anime, it'll come up.
There we go. All right, so we are going to be getting everybody over. Are you going live so that we can send everybody?
Yeah,
over?
I'm going to go live now for Sunday Streets. Go ahead and hit my stream and get everything going real quick. OBS.
All right, so I'm jumping off here, right?
Yeah. All right, thank you for coming out, Jeremy. And now we have.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Bye, y'all.
See you, man.
Okay. All right, I'm ready when you are, Dev.
All right,
thank you.
See here if we
Send the host out.
All right, guys. Good show. I'm gonna pop off here, and maybe I'll be back on to commentate later. But I'm gonna get some food. So.
Right.
Should be streaming.
Yeah, and we are going to send it over to Zyson.
Thank you.
There we go. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody.